Hare Krishna. Welcome again to our evening katha. Our sincere hope is that all of you are keeping well and no problem during this lockdown. We hope you're taking advantage to increase your Krishna consciousness. Today we're going to start, we left off at Akshayvat. We're going to go from Akshayvat to Tapovan and Tapovan to Nanda Ghat, passing by Ghat. And today we're going to sing a very beautiful song, one of my favorite songs, the Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gopinath. Gopinath, mama nivedana shuno, visai durjana, sadakamarata, kichu nahi mora Guna Gopinath Mama Nivedana Shuno Visai Durjana Sadakamarata Kichu Nahi Moraguna Gopinath Gopinath Amarabarasa tumi Tomara charane Loinu charana Tomara kinkara ami Gopinath Amarabarasa tumi Tomara charane loinu charana Tomara kinkora ami Gopinath Gopinath Kemone soribe more na jani bakati Karme jaramati Poriche samsara ghore Gopinath Kemone soribe more Najani bakati Karma jaramati Poriche samsara ghora Gopinath Gopinath Sakale tomara maya Nahi mama bala Jnana sunirmala Swadhina nahi kaya Gopinath Sakale tomara maya Nahi mama bala Jnana sunirmala Swadhina nahi kaya Gopinath Gopinath Niyata charane stana Mage pamara Kandiya kandiya Korohe karuna dhana Gopinath Niyata charane stana Mage pamara Kandiya kandiya Kemone karuna pana Gopinath Gopinath Tumito sakale paro Tujane tarite Tomara sakate Keache papiro aro Gopinath. Tumi to sakale paro, tu jane tarite, tomara sakati, keache papira aro. Gopinath. Gopinath, tumi kripa parabara, jivera karane, asisya prapanje, lila koila subistara. Gopinath, tumi kripa parabara, jivera karane, asisya prapanje, lila koila subistara. Gopinath. Gopinath, ami ki doshe doshi, asura sakala, pailo charana, vinodata kilobosi. Gopinath, ami ki doshe doshi, asura sakala, pailo charana, vinodata kilobosi. Gopinath, 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 Gopinath. Hare Krishna. So again, we welcome you to our evening katha. Today we're going to take you from, we were at Akshay Vat, so we'll go to Tapovan all the way up to Nanda Ghat and Baigam. So we hope all of you are safe and sound, and we're going to have very enjoyable prikama today. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandigam Adadanastranandan Taibridam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Dulisyam Janma Janmani. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyashta kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So yesterday we were at Akshay Vat, and we told you there's a huge old banyan tree there with so many trunks you can't even begin to figure out which was the original part of this banyan tree. And all around it is a very high raised platform, about 4.5 feet high platform is there. And there's so many nice roots hanging down. And you can climb on that platform, then go back and then swing out over the end of the platform, and swing back and forth like that. All our devotees love to do this. Now to get to Tapovan, there's just a small dirt road. Our buses can't go there. We have to walk there. And Tapovan is not very far. The Yamuna we just see in the distance. It used to flow right there, but now it's gone quite a ways away. And tapa you know, means tapasya. So this is where the gopis did their tapasya. In the month after Kartik, we see in our Vaishnav calendar, there's a Katyayani Vrat. So the gopis, all in hopes of getting a nice husband, not in hopes of getting a nice husband, in hopes of getting Sri Nanda Nandan as their husband, they made a vow to perform tapasya at this place. And all their parents, seeing that they were ready to do a vrat for getting good husband, they were very happy. But their mothers told them, but you're all very delicate young girls, very soft and sweet. How will you possibly, now it's become cold, how will you possibly tolerate your soft bodies, tolerate taking bath in the cold waters of Jamuna? And how will you be able to tolerate eating khichdi with no salt? Just now I've forgotten the name of this preparation, but this is what the gopis were taking. Just like if we serve you a khichdi with no salt, you'll become very angry. The gopis made this vrat. But seeing their parents' objection, seeing their mother's objection, only increased their determination. And the mothers asked them, who is the devata that you're going to worship? And who is the acharya? And the gopis, they replied, we have a very special devata, and our mind is the acharya. And whatever our mind tells us to do, that is how we're going to do the worship. We have very special devata, they wouldn't reveal. So they decided every morning to go to the bank of the Jamuna and take bath. So now this is after Kartik is already cold, this is month after Kartik. All the gopikas were very anxiously, they were very excited to start their vrat. They're going down to the bank of the Jamuna at Tapovan, and they're walking through the forest. Looked like a group of golden lotus flowers. All the golden gopikas, Brajakumaris, were going through the forest. They're all wrapped up in their nice warm chadars. It's a little bit cold, so you can see their breath. They're out from underneath their chadars. You can see their little bit of breath is forming mist in the air as they wander through the forest. When they got to the bank of the Jamuna at Tapovan, then they took off their saris and chadars and put on their white cotton bathing uniforms. And everyone went down to the bank of the water and they looked at that cold water of Jamuna, and the air is very cold. And they all looked at each other with their beautiful lotus petal eyes. You go first. No, you go first. And somehow or other, very determined, they stepped into the water. Woo! And then finally they all got into the water. Then they began to splash each other and pinch each other and push each other, have a good time. But they couldn't stand the cold waters. After a time, they jumped out of that water very quickly, and with little towels they dried their bodies very nicely. And then they went to Ghat, just a little ways down the Jamuna from Tapovan is Ghat, where there's deity of Katyayani. And there they began to do the worship of Katyayani. First of all, they made a deity out of sand. And this is all very beautifully described in my book, Braj Leela Part 2, which we're going to publish on Amazon very soon. Because this is a lesson in deity worship that our Ministry of Deity Worship, Nrsimha Kavacha, he'll never teach you mantras like these. First, the gopis made a little deity of Katyayani out of sand and decorated her very nicely. In fact, the pujaris say that the deity there is the same deity from that time of the gopis, 5,000 years ago. They've covered it with so much orange paint that it preserved the sand deity there. They offer her padya for washing her feet. O Katyayani, please accept this worship of your feet. May our breasts be cooled by this padya water, which reminds us of Lord Krishna's perspiration. Help us to meet our beloved Sri Krishna. Mantras like that Nrsimha Kavacha doesn't teach us. Then the Vrajakumaris offered Arghya for washing her hands. O Devi, worshipped by all the demigods, we offer this Arghya in hopes of attaining the association of Sri Krishna, our Maha-Arghya. While performing Achman, mouthwash, the gopis prayed, O Devi, we offer you this pleasant Achman so that we can obtain the taste of the nectar of Sri Krishna. When they offered Madhuparka, a pleasant drink composed of honey, ghee and yogurt, the gopis were praying, O Devi, please accept this sweet Madhuparka that is so nicely mixed with honey, and please allow us to taste the nectar of the honey sweet lips of Sri Krishna. Then again those pure-hearted girls offered Achman, water for washing the mouth. O Devi, we offer you this wonderful Achman that is just like nectar, so that we may get to drink the nectar from the lotus mouth of Sri Krishna. They offered aromatic massagic oil. O Devi, please accept this oil with which we massage all your limbs. Please attach all the limbs of our bodies to each of Sri Krishna's limbs. To remove the oil, they used a soft scented powder that was just like a spray of nectar. O Devi, we offer you this fragrant powder. Please remove the sorrow within our hearts. As we remove the oil, we humbly ask you to remove the sorrow from our hearts and give us the association of Sri Krishna. They offered bathing water scented with camphor in a golden vessel. O Devi, we offer you this finely scented bath water in the hopes that we will be bathed in Sri Krishna's association. The lotus-eyed girls offered her a sari woven with golden threads. O Devi, please accept this golden sari and bless us that our clothes will be mixed up in exchange with Sri Krishna's clothes. The young girls offer flawless jewels. O Devi, decorate yourself with these wonderful abhushan, ornaments, and let us be adorned with the nectar of Krishna's limbs. They offered attractive ointments made with the guru, camphor and musk. O Devi, we offer you these opulent ointments, so that you will please arrange that we become anointed with the nectar of Krishna's limbs. They offer the most fragrant scents. O Devi, we offer you these enlivening scents, that our limbs become fragrant from the aroma of Sri Krishna's body. They offered flowers from 6 different seasons. Vrindavan is such a place you can get 6 different seasons flowers. O Devi, we offer you these wonderful flowers. Let our lips be worshipped by Krishna's teeth, which conquer the beauty of kunda flowers. Then they offered a special agarbatti made from a guru, khas and gulgul. O Devi, we offer you this incense. By the pleasant smoke, may your effulgence increase. Offering a ghee lamp, the Gopika sang, O Devi, just as we are offering you this lamp to illuminate yourself, please illuminate the house of our breasts with the lamp of Lord Krishna's Kaustubha jewel. The young girls offered very opulent bhog. O Devi, please accept these wonderful sweets, cakes, and so many other wonderful eatables that we are offering to you. Please bless us that we can get the remnants right from the mouth of the ever youthful Sri Krishna. To complete their puja, fixing their minds on their goal, the gopis chanted this mantra with great feeling. Katyayani mahamaye mahayogin yadishri Nanda Gopa Sutam Devi Pati Me Kurute Namaha. Katyayani Mahamaye, O great energy of the Lord. Maha Yogini, you are a great yogini. Adishvari, you are the supreme controller. Nanda Gopa Sutam, Suta means son. Nanda Gopa Sutam Devi, O Devi, let that son of Nandaraj Pati Me Kurute Namaha. May he become our Pati, our husband. May that son of Nanda Gopa become our husband. Pati Me Kurute Namaha. After they finished their puja, the Vrajakumaris offered tambul. O Devi, please accept this tambul made of betel, cloves, and cardamom, that our lips may be colored with Krishna's tambul. They performed artik. O Maheshwari, we offer you these lamps. Please illuminate our limbs with the glow of Krishna's limbs. Finally, they offered obeisances. You are a great yogini. There's nothing impossible for you. Somehow or other, you make arrangements that this Nanda Sutta become our husband. So every day for 1 month, the Gopikas were performing this, very regularly performing this puja. Finally, on the last day of their puja, they very opulently, they went to Ghat, where the beautiful deity of Katyayani is staying. Let me see if we have the picture. Oh, this is a beautiful deity of Katyayani. Can they see? Original Katyayani made by the gopis, according to the Pujari. So they very enthusiastically, every day they were with more and more enthusiasm worshipping Katyayani. This last day they're very excited, and they performed the worship with great enthusiasm. And then they went straight down to the Ghat and just threw off their clothes and didn't even bother to put on their bathing costumes. They just jumped into the water completely naked. And they began to splash and push each other and enjoy like young girls in the water. Meanwhile, Krishna, he knew the desire of the hearts of the gopis. He knew why they were worshipping Katyayani. Because this was not ordinary deity worship. Ordinarily people worship Devi in order to get some material opulence or some money or a house or some other material benefit. But the gopis, their desire was for Krishna consciousness, to get Krishna as their husband. So Krishna knew this is not ordinary deity worship, demigod worship. So he gave some excuse to the Balaram and the cowherd boys, and he snuck away from them, from their play. And he took with him 3 or 4 boys who were just 3 or 4 years old, very innocent boys, who do not know what is man and what is woman. They do not know. They're very pure-hearted souls. And he came there to the bank of Ghat. And in the bushes he watched the gopis frolicking in the water. Then he tied up his hair underneath his turban. He took off his ankle belts, and crossing his eyebrows, shh, he told the young boys to be quiet. And then, just like a thief looking here and there, he went to the bank of the Jamuna, scooped up all of their clothes, and went up into the Kadamba tree, beautiful Kadamba tree that was there. And the Gopikas, they were frolicking and pushing one another and splashing one another. Then they figured this is enough time for bathing, and their lotus petal eyes darted toward the shore of the Jamuna. And what did they see? Or rather, what they didn't see? Their cloth was gone. And their lotus eye, just like little silver fish on the water, ping, ping, they were just darting this way and that way, like little tiny fish, trying to figure out. And all they could see was bird prints and hoof prints of the cows. So they knew that the demigods don't leave footprints, so maybe the demigods have stolen our cloth. They began to consider now what to do in this predicament. At that time, Sri Krishna expanded a brilliant effulgence from sitting in the tree. And he told all the Vrajakumaris that I have stolen all of your cloth. Now you all come here using your pearl necklace as an offering, and each one come separately and take your cloth from me. When they heard the joking words of Sri Krishna, their hearts just fluttered with joy. But externally they showed fear. They immediately all went back into the water up to their necks, so Krishna couldn't see them. And Krishna said, why are you going backwards? You come here and take your cloth. And the gopis, everyone looked at one another, not knowing what to do. And they would, you tell him something. No, you tell him something. No, you tell him something. So one said, aren't you the respectable son of the king of Braj, Nanda Baba? Is this respectable activity that you're doing? And you're doing this. This is most abominable that we should come naked onto the shore of the Jamuna. Please don't make us do this. You're the respectable son of the king of Braj, and this behavior will not increase your fame. Another said, you're the son of the Nanda Baba, so you should not help us, you should keep us from deviating from dharma, from irreligion. The Braj Gopis will die if they become naked and on the shore of the Jamuna like this. And Krishna said, no, I'm not joking. Because I never tell lies, I only speak the truth. You come here one by one and take your cloth. And the gopi said, but you shouldn't do like this. We're very respectable girls. We're never naked before anyone. You should just put our cloth on the bank and please go away from this place. And Krishna again made some argument with them, and then they made another argument. In this way they were arguing back and forth, and finally Krishna said, you girls are taking so much time, I think I'll make a hammock with your cloth and just sit here and enjoy this atmosphere on the bank of the Jamuna. So the one gopi said, look, if you don't give us back our clothes right now, we're going to go to the king and complain about you. And Krishna looked at him and said, then go. Who's stopping you? Then he paused for a minute to let the gopis realize their predicament. He said, go ahead, go. I'm not stopping you. He said, then we're going to stay here in the water. We're performing these these austerities, this vrat for 30 days. We can stay here for as long as we like. Yes, by your association, I've also become attached to Tyag. I'm going to stay here in the forest also with you. And stay with you on the bank of the Jamuna for 30 days. In this way they were arguing back and forth. Finally they saw that Krishna is determined. So then each one was pushing the other one for, you go first. No, you go first. And Krishna said, you say that you're my servants. Well, then they gave the argument that you just put the cloth and let everyone come and take their cloth. But somebody may take someone else's, and someone else may take someone else's. And you may take the wrong cloth. He said, no, we're very honest girls. We never touch anybody else's things. I said, if you're honest, then come and get your cloth. I'm calling you. I'm speaking the truth. Please come. Then what was the argument? Then the Krishna's argument was, you all say that you're my maidservants. So the servant always does what the master says. So I'm telling you to come here and take your cloth from me. So why are you hesitating? Please show me your love. So then the gopis, they began to look and said, you go first, you go. Then they all started, taking their hair, they took their hair and they placed it very strategically on their bodies. And they came out of the water up to the waist. When they got to the waist, the Sakhi known as modesty stopped them from going any further. And Krishna became very upset. Just look at you. You have your hair down in front of an unknown person. This is totally improper behavior. Even if you consider that I'm an ordinary person, you should never put your hair down before an ordinary person, before anyone like this. Now you immediately tie up your hair before you come out of the water. Then all the gopis looked at each other. Because to tie up the hair means they don't have any way to hide anything. So then they took their hands and wrapped their hair in little buns before Krishna. And then they have 3 places to hide, but only 2 hands doing whatever best they could. They came out of the water. And Krishna told them to sit on the bank. And he gave them a big lecture that why are you bathing naked? This is in the river. This is totally improper behavior. The only way to save yourself from this great offense to Jamuna is you each come here, raise your hands above your head, and then bow down and beg forgiveness and take your cloth from me. So each of the Braj Gopikas looked at each other, and then slowly, one by one, they put their hands over their head, offered their obeisance to Lord Krishna, and took their cloth. And when they finally were all assembled together, their hearts were very warm. They were externally showing aversion to Krishna, but in their hearts they realized Krishna was fulfilling their desires. And they were very happy. But they didn't want to go. And Krishna told them, no, now you must go. One night soon, we'll all be together for a whole night of Brahma, don't worry. Now you must hurry home. So all the gopikas, with this warm flutter in their hearts, they all wandered through the forest back to their home. In this way they were satisfied. that Krishna had fulfilled their Ghat, their Vrat. So, like I said, here at Ghat, because there's always some confusion, because in Vrindavan also, down the Prikrama path, there's also one Ghat. And Biswanath Chakravarti Thakur writes about that Ghat, that's not the original place. The original place is about 20 kilometers upstream, where we are right now. That Ghat, inside Vrindavan town, is described in Bhakti Ratnakar, that there, during the Rasa dance, they took bath in the Jamuna, and Krishna snuck out of the water unseen by anyone and mixed up everybody's cloth. Somebody's skirt with somebody else's choli, someone else's veil with someone else's cloth, and this way mixed all the cloth, and when everyone came out they saw everything was all mixed up. So this is different, but the real one is 20 kilometers upstream at this very beautiful place. And there you'll see that Kachaini deity that I saw, and you'll see the most amazing Kadamba tree. Because everywhere we go in Braj we see Kadamba trees, and they all have their branches raised in the sky, chanting, Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. But at Ghat there's a very ancient old Kadamba tree, right near the temple. And right near that Kadamba tree, our Sriji Baba has made a beautiful little shelter for you to take off your clothes, and there's a Ghat there, and a beautiful diorama or bas-relief of Krishna sitting in the tree, and the gopis naked in the water begging for their cloth, and just beside this tree. And this tree, like I said, all Kadamba trees, their branches are raised to the sky. This one, all the leaves hang down. You look at this Kadamba tree, and you see all the leaves are hanging down just like cloth. I never saw Kadamba tree. All Kadamba trees, branches are upward. But this one has all the branches and all the leaves hanging down just like cloth. So from Ghat, we wander on down to Nanda Ghat, which is just on the bank of the Jamuna outside of a town called Baigaon. We remember that Prabhupada's name is Abhay Charanarabinda. So Abhay means fearless, so Abhay means fear. So we're going to hear in a little bit about how Nanda Baba got a big fright here. But first we'll tell an interesting story about Jiva Goswami and Baigaon. Because Jiva Goswami, one time he arrived, or first time he arrived in Vrindavan from Navadvip. Lord Nityananda took him all around Navadvip. In fact, our Navadvip Mandal Prikrama is based on that tour of Lord Nityananda with Jiva Goswami. Then he stopped in Benares and he studied with Madhusudan Vachaspati, who was the great disciple of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And he learned Sanskrit and all philosophy very perfectly. Then he arrived in Braj and he stayed with, immediately was attracted to Rupa Goswami. And since he was very erudite, Rupa Goswami immediately engaged him in editing his book. He was writing Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu at that time. So this way the writing of the book was going on very nicely, and Jiva Goswami was editing very nicely. One day Ballabhacharya showed up on the Ghat. And we know that Ballabhacharya met Mahaprabhu, so he must have been quite an elderly Vaishnava at this time. And he recognized Rupa Goswami as one of the associates of Mahaprabhu. So he said, what is it, the book that you're working on there? So immediately he picked up the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and began to read. And the first thing he saw, there was a verse that said, Bhukti Mukti Sprihab, Bhukti Mukti Spriha Pisachi Yavat Riddhi Vartate. That the desire for bhukti and mukti is a witch. Pisachi means witch, that is haunting the hearts of the devotee. And he said, Mukti, you're calling a witch. That mukti that in Srimad Bhagavatam is glorified by so many wonderful verses. Because actually we know the real mukti, devotional service to the Lord, is glorifiable. How are you calling her a witch? This is not proper at all. In this way he began to find fault with Rupa Goswami's work. Meanwhile, Jiva Goswami was there fanning his guru with a lotus leaf. And his guru didn't say anything, so Jiva Goswami also kept quiet. When Rupa Goswami kept quiet, Jiva Goswami kept quiet. After some time he returned the book to Rupa and said, I'm going to take my bath. And he went down to the Ghat to take his bath. So Jiva Goswami followed him down and he said, look, because he was thinking that nobody knows more than devotional service in this whole universe than Rupa Goswami. Who is this guy to correct him? So he went down and he said, Rupa Goswami never called mukti a witch. He said, bhukti mukti spriha. Spriha means desire. He called the desire for bhukti and mukti a witch. In this way he smashed all of the criticisms that Ballabhacharya made. Ballabhacharya was totally astounded. This young boy is so learned. My goodness. So immediately he finished up his bath. He went back to Rupa. He said, who is that boy? He said, he's my nephew and my disciple. But he's so amazing. His knowledge is so great. He smashed all of my arguments. Whatever you've written in your book, it is perfect. I'm just an old man. Old men, we like to tell people what to do and criticize, so you don't mind. And he went on his way. And when Jiva Goswami showed up, then Rupa said, you couldn't tolerate this old venerable Vaishnav came. He was trying to help me in my work and gave me some suggestions. You couldn't tolerate him helping me in my service? You're a little youngster in front of him? You don't know proper Vaishnav behavior. You should not stay in Braj. You leave this place. So Jiva Goswami was heartbroken. His guru has driven him out of Braj. But he couldn't leave Braj. So he wandered hither and thither till he came to Baigaon, where we're now. And there he found a crocodile hole on the bank of the Jamuna. And he began to live there. So apparently 500 years ago there was crocodiles in the Jamuna. Now when you take your bath, you don't have to worry about it. We haven't seen a crocodile in all the time we've been to the Jamuna here. But there was crocodile holes there. He took up residence in a crocodile hole. And he didn't beg anything, but people would bring him some atta. He would mix it with the Jamuna water. Atta means flour, wheat flour. And not even cooking it, he would just eat it like that. In this way, gradually his body became emaciated, he became very weak, he got ulcers, he got sores on his body. One day, Sanatana Goswami came to Rupa Goswami and he saw that he was having a lot of trouble writing his book. So he asked him about Jiva. He said, why Jiva's not helping you anymore? So he told him what happened. He said, So one day Sanatan was wandering around Braj and he came to Baigaon. And he stood outside one Brijvasi's house and said, Radhisham Madhukari, Radhisham Madhukari. And the housewife came out and brought him some rotis. So, oh Baba, it's so nice to see you. Now, oh, Baba Gosai has come, Baba Gosai has come. But Baba, there's a new Baba, a very young Baba in our town. And he does incredible austerities. We've heard about you. You threw away a valuable blanket and took a torn quilt. But this, he just stands on the bank of the Jamuna. He just eats little chapati balls and he chants out, Hey Radhe, Hey Krishna, Ha Ha Rupa, Ha Ha Sanatan. When Sanatana Goswami heard this, he said, nobody can do austerities like this except Jiva Goswami. He went down to the bank of the Jamuna, he found that crocodile hole, and he saw Jiva was so weak, he was lying on his back, he couldn't even roll over to pay his obeisance, he was so weak. And Sanatana Goswami came down and heard the whole story from the mouth of Jiva. So then he got some Brijvasis together and they carried Jiva back to Vrindavan. And he put him outside the kutir of Rupa Goswami. Then he went to Rupa Goswami's bhajan kutir. He said, in your book, what have you written about our duty to the jivas? And Rupa said, Jiva ko daya karo. The Vaishnava is always merciful to the jivas. Huh? Jiva daya, Vaishnava, Jiva doya namaruchi, Vaishnava seva. Huh? So you said that we should show mercy to the jivas, but you're not showing mercy to your own jiva. When he said it like that, Rupa Goswami realized there must be something special behind the way he's talking. And he said, where is Jiva? He's outside. Immediately Rupa ran outside, embraced Jiva and forgave him and nursed him back to health, and then he helped him with his editing all of his books like that. So this all happened here in Baigaon. And we've come out of time to tell the 5,000-year-old history of this Baigaon. It's a very wonderful history. So tomorrow we'll tell that story. And how many people are there today?
Right now, 102.
Okay. So we thank you very much for listening today. We hope you'll come again tomorrow and every day that we're here. And we thank you all very much, those who are making donations to Vrindakund. But even more important, because our Vrindakund is a small temple, but our big temple where we're worshipping very nicely Krishna Balaram, Radhasham Sundar, Gaurnitai, no income for the last 2 months. So please go to iskonvrindavan.com and find out the donation button and help us to serve Gaurnitai, Krishna Balaram, and Sri Sri Radhasham Sundar. This is your favorite temple, it's your temple, we're here to serve you. Now you have a chance to serve us. Hare Krishna.